Have you ever had a time in your life where you just didn't feel good enough? At 8 years old, my best friend Janie and I were inseparable. We spent hours playing Barbies and riding our bikes together. But our favorite thing to do was to get out our pillows and our blankets and to transform Janie's living room into a concert stage. And we became the rock stars. With our hairbrush microphones and our air guitars, we became bona fide rock stars. Most of the time, we would just perform for Janie's mom, who was our #1 fan. But we decided to take it to the next level. We invited my family and Janie's family for a Saturday night world tour concert. It was going to be amazing. On the day of the concert, my mom surprised me with a rock star outfit. It had a pink silky top with a matching pink jacket that had sequins along the collar. It also had a pair of short shorts with sequins all along the back that would glisten every time I moved. I felt amazing in that outfit. On the night of the concert, Janie's family was all seated there, and at the last minute, I noticed Janie's older brother walked into the back of the living room. Oh my gosh, my heart literally skipped a beat. I had such a crush on him. I noticed during the concert that every time I moved, he was watching me. And I strutted on that stage, and I noticed every time he looked at me, I strutted just a little bit more. At the end of the concert, everybody came up to get our autographs. Janie's brother came right up to me. There he was, looking so dreamy. There I was, looking so amazing in those short shorts. And there we were in that moment. He stood right in front of me, looked me up and down, and then he said, "Why is a fat girl like you wearing such short shorts?" It was like a sucker punch in my gut. And I did all I could just to hold back the tears. That comment changed the way that night went for me. That one comment, even though it was a few words, changed the way I felt about myself. And the word fat became the lens that I saw myself for most of my life. I had a similar experience when I was 16. I was a camp counselor at a summer camp. While we were working there, I had my eye on one of the other counselors. And I found out he also had his eye on me. But he made the comment to one of the other crew members, "She would look so much better if she just lost a little bit of weight." There it was. I was too fat. And so I decided I was going to lose weight at all costs. And you know what I did? I basically stopped eating and I exercised every single day. It worked. I lost 30 pounds that summer. I will never forget the day when I got out of the car for my first day of high school. All my friends came running out to me and saying, "Oh my gosh, Cindy, you look amazing." They were showering me with compliments about how amazing I looked. And what that did was solidify the belief that in order for me to be accepted, I had to be thin. And that belief stayed with me for most of my life. And because of that belief, I ended up getting caught up in an eating disorder that nearly cost me my life. When we receive negative comments, especially in our formative years, we start to believe things about ourselves that aren't even true. We allow comments and the opinions of others to determine our self-worth. And you know what? It wasn't even the comments of others that were the most damaging. It was the comments I made to myself. That inner critic became my worst bully. And every time I looked in the mirror, there was that bully standing right next to me, telling me I wasn't good enough, telling me I didn't measure up, pointing out all my flaws and imperfections. And that bully stayed with me until one day I was going through an old photo album and I found a picture of myself as a young child. There I was standing with a mismatched outfit and a football helmet that was a little lopsided on my head and a pair of red rain boots. I looked at that little girl and I saw such a zest for life. She didn't care what people thought of her. She didn't care she had a mismatched outfit. She didn't care what she looked like. She had a joy and an innocence in her face, and I thought to myself, what happened to that little girl? And I decided in that moment, I was no longer going to allow that inner bully to dictate who I was. And something shifted inside of me. I decided that I was perfect exactly how I am. It wasn't that my reflection changed, but my perception changed. Much like the ugly duckling, who believed for years he was ugly, and then realized he was a swan all along. We don't have to be perfect to love ourselves. We don't have to be perfect to decide who we are. We just have to embrace who we are. Every part of us, the good, the bad, the messy, it's all part of who we are. Our worth was determined the day that we were born. It's our birthright. It's who we are. And there's not anyone who can diminish that worth. We don't receive our worth by our achievements or our appearances or the opinion of an older brother. Our worth is innate. There is no one on this earth who's like you or like me. We are unique, beautiful beings, created with a purpose. Our purpose is to become whatever we become, and to realize that our talents and our abilities and our gifts are ours. Our experiences are ours. They make us who we are. And our only goal in life is to become better of who we already are. We don't have to be different. We just have to be ourselves. We just have to believe in ourselves and to live our lives not clouded by self-criticism or self-judgment, but in self-belief, the love and the compassion that we deserve, because we are worthy exactly how we are. You know what I did with that picture? I put it on my mirror. And every time I look in that mirror and I want to say something ugly to myself, I look at the eyes of that little girl. What does she deserve? She deserves the same love and compassion that I deserve. The same love and compassion that you deserve. Because we are good enough exactly as we are. We just need to see ourselves through a different lens. One that's not clouded by self-criticism and self-judgment, but a lens of beauty. A lens filled with love and joy and compassion and the same zest for life that we had when we were young, before the world told us we weren't good enough. You are good enough, and so am I. We just need to see ourselves through a different lens. I invite all of us to see ourselves through a different lens, a lens of love and beauty. So if you struggle with that inner bully, we all have it. That bully that tells us we're not good enough. Picture the younger version of yourself. And the next time you want to be unkind to yourself, Ask yourself, would I say that to my younger version of myself? That young version that had such hopes, such dreams, such imagination, such possibility? And promise yourself right now that you are no longer going to be unkind to yourself. That you're not going to say anything to yourself that you wouldn't say to that younger version of you. And watch how your life transforms. Watch the beauty that enters your world as you realize you are strong enough and good enough just as you are. I invite all of us to look at our lives through a different lens and to realize that there's no one else in this world who's just like you. Nobody. And you can believe anything you want to believe about yourself. You decide right now how you're going to talk to yourself. Decide what you're going to believe about yourself. And decide right now how you're going to treat yourself. And fill your life with the beauty that you deserve. Because life is too short to let that inner bully dictate your worth. We're here on this earth for a purpose. So find your purpose and become the most beautiful version of yourself right now. Because the most important relationship you have in this life is the relationship you have with yourself.